almost as customary at this point, I am joined with...
It's me, Riviera.
Don't sound so depressed. As always, if you're new to my channel, go ahead and smash that like. If you haven't seen her channel, go over, show her some love. She works just as hard, if not harder, on these videos than I do. And today we're going to be continuing the weapon breakdown series. That's right, it's not dead. In case you cannot see my screen right now for whatever reason, we're talking about Hannah Song, aka Diva from Overwatch. Now, I play a lot of Overwatch, and as a matter of fact, you'll be able to find Let's Plays here and there on my channel of it. I do sort of main tank Diva. When I say that, like, she's my main tank, but I kind of flip-flop between her and Reinhardt. So let's get into her, we're actually going to talk about her secondary weapon first, because her primary weapon's obviously her mech. That's going to take a minute to break down, so we're going to talk about her pistol, which actually is kind of funny. The pistol seems to be almost like a variation on a standard civilian pistol that almost anyone could get. The NB50, I can't find anything on. It says HB. I have NB in my notes. Oops. And Rivs, when you're fighting a baby suit Diva, how much damage does this pistol do, if you can remember or guess?
Oh, I'm trying to remember. I think it's like, I don't know. I don't run into a lot of divas.
I do know that, and don't worry, we're gonna be taking it into the testing range and do all of that, in a minute. But this is definitely not something one would consider a weapon for a battlefield. Almost seems like she carries it just in case, or in the inevitability that she blows up her mech. It's a rapid firing pistol, though I'm not sure if it's actually automatic or if Diva's just pulling the trigger really fast. I'm led to believe she's actually more of a fast shot than, like, this is an automatic pistol, due to the fire rate being slightly slower than that of what machine pistols are in our time. And I have to believe that in the hovercar world, mech-filled, cybernetic-filled world of Overwatch, an automatic pistol would be something you could obtain. Anything to add there, Revs?
No, not really.
The
She does
pistol,
actually.
the
She would actually
pistol,
qualify for fast-paced.
the pistol has several variations when you change her skin. For those of you who don't play Overwatch and somehow don't know what a skin is, skins are just as the character appears on screen, but none of these have stat changes. They're all appearance. That being said, the one I actually want to talk about is Academy. Academy looks to be a throwback of the Star Trek phaser. That's all I have to say about that. It's just cool. Cruiser, I almost kind of wish they would have done something more with, like, a noir style 50s revolver, though I do like the cruiser style gun. But as far as I can tell, she prefers almost like a single stack mag semi-auto pistol design. And an Officer Diva is where this is most plain to see, where, it's probably the bulkiest pistol of all of them. Would you agree there?
Yeah.
And it's still pretty much a single stack mag, and that is the premiere of all of hers, as I'm going through making sure I'm not an idiot and I'm missing something. Also, a lot of them have carbon fiber on them. I don't know if that's an aesthetic choice from her or if that's just materials. So let's get into the big juicy part, the mech. As is, the mech is about as tall as Reinhardt, maybe a little taller since it does naturally crouch with those rabbit-like legs. This does give it excellent mobility across the battlefield for its size, though armor, I will admit, this is probably a very lightly armored unit. If I take modern construction into account, this looks to be a titanium alloy and steel basis. And the controls are exposed, which would expose the operator just slightly. Though I don't think Diva really cares about that. And this is actually another first for my channel, or not my channel, this series, but I'll get into that in a minute. The small wings and thrusters do allow her a small degree of flight. She has lights for low light visibility. And as you can see, I'm kind of avoiding the cannons because we'll get into those separately. Because they're very much a unique weapon. As for critically damaging the mech, while you cannot do this in-game, I would imagine should you hit it with an anti-material round in one of the joint actuations or a thruster, that would fairly well take it out of the fight. Anything to add there?
Nah, not much. I would just say the fact that most of the thing that would be a key factor in taking down any part, like any machine, besides for just taking on the, like, normal, like, every single day points would probably be the, a few of the gears actually look like they're open for an attack, not just the ball joints that would be at the hip or the legs. Or heck,
yeah, the gear plating's on the legs and that. But we don't know how thick those plates are. Those could be just not worth shooting at.
Yeah, true. Then again, the hydraulics in the back of the foot could also be taken out as well.
However, Diva's mech has a plan B of attack should you disable it. She can, assuming her thrusters are operational, and since in the game you can't knock these out, we're going to assume you can't knock them out or haven't knocked them out. She will fly or run towards you and self-destruct her mech, ejecting out of the back where you see that operator's hatch there. Now, given that Diva's mech was constructed to take on Omnis, like Omni drones, I'm going to take a wild guess that it was more made for energy deflection than kinetic. You can also see the kind of underparts of her thrusters on the sides are a little more exposed than the ones on back or the arm cannons. So I could foresee striking those. And as a matter of fact, in the short, one of those do get knocked off if I'm not mistaken. Now, when it comes to this is kind of a first. I don't really review mechs too much on my channel, but I've had a lot of fun. Going to her weapons. Oh, that's the highlight intro. I'm gonna highlight these with the gold thing for now, just so you know what we're talking about. Not that anyone had any question. These are rotary shot cannons that act a lot like a belt-fed shotgun. Straight up, this is an anti-personnel weapon or light armor, due to plasma being able to burn through some metal. And given they never have to reload, I'm not sure how she does that. I'm guessing it's just like an onboard battery almost that can charge the plasma, and I'm assuming eventually you actually would run out of ammunition. It would just take longer than any feasible Overwatch match, so they don't really account for that, because no one has limited ammo, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, aside from all of that, talking about Diva's Zero Suit, and it actually is called a Zero Suit, there's no armor beneficial factor from her suit. I believe it's solely to help her operate the mech. It is form-fitting, so maybe that gives her an extra degree of flexibility or mobility on the battlefield if she's on foot. Rivs, you might know a little bit more about that than I would.
About what? The outfit, or
Like, if a form-fitting suit would be good on a battlefield or not.
form-fitting is pretty nice, but you would want to go for loose and baggy if it's actually open battlefield, but considering the fact she's laying down, or, well, when she's in the mech, she's laying down. So, for that key factor, it would be beneficial for her. It wouldn't be for if she actually has to run.
And in terms of if I was to, assuming I was Diva, and I was to pick an outfit to go into the battlefield in, I would actually pick Officer Diva, as it's the only one that actually resembles anything that would be useful, in my opinion. The mech, it seems to be a little heavier armored this time around, and the joints seem to be reinforced with metal plating in certain key areas, the back of the legs and the ball joints on the hips. There's a light bar and 2 additional stabilizers. So yeah, that would pretty much be a fairly good choice. Still has the exposed operator problem. I don't think that would fare well against anti-tank.
Paladin would probably be a little bit nicer
Palanquin?
because of the... Yeah, Palanquin, because of the way that the glass is formed, but other than that...
Yeah, but look at what she's sporting to run around the battlefield in.
True, but I was just talking about the front-facing glass.
Oh, well, I was... Yeah, I see what you're getting at.
I'm not talking about the outfit.
I'm just looking at it all. Trying to, anyway. So... And even though this says police, and I'm fairly certain it says police in South Korean, because she is from South Korea, it is still one of the most used Diva skins, and it's one of the best looking, in my opinion. If you had to pick a Diva mech to take into battle for yourself, Rivs, what would you pick?
I'd probably go with Junebug.
Junebug. Yeah, Junebug's fairly advanced and it looks really nice.
Yeah.
Me, again, Officer, or just for the hilarity, Cruiser. And it still has all the benefits. The only thing different is that there's way more chrome.
Yeah.
Though the glass does seem to be reinforced by those chrome bars, so that might give you some added protection. Not a lot, mind you, but some. Again, if it doesn't hit you and it hits something on your mech, I consider it a win. If I was to critique this design, I would definitely scale down the pilot controls to where they could be fitted inside the mech.
Or how about just that way they're not actual joysticks, so it's just like controlling it with your hands.
Yeah, or like I said, a more minimalist control scheme at the very least to fit it inside the mech, as any sniper would probably definitely go for one of those 2 joysticks. However, we do have to take this is since this is a character, I kind of have to take her into account. I feel like it wouldn't be fair just to take the mech into account without Diva herself. So that being said, she definitely she's gone on what 20 or 30 missions with Overwatch.
Yeah.
She has several successful missions, so I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Um, and I believe we'll be doing another weapon breakdown next week. As for who, I don't know. Maybe we'll take a look at Bastion. He'd be a lot of fun. So, rounding off, anything you want to add to, Rivs?
Well, not really much. You were talking earlier about Diva's guns, and for the most part, I do have to agree with the fact that it seems the fact that she would be a fast trigger, because in the battlefield, she just has to wait for her, well, technically in her suit to be dropped. So it's more of, she's kind of a spray and pray. Hopefully hit the targets and everything else.
Yeah, definitely more on suppression and waiting for that suit to hit the ground
Than actually going for, a kill. As long as
and
you can
you
keep
guys
some
may be
cover.
wondering why I'm not doing a weapon breakdown on Doom Eternal. I'm gonna give a proper amount of time for spoilers before I start talking heavily about Doom Eternal, despite the fact I love the game.
Oh yeah, there's a little, I don't think you found it yet, but there's a little homage to a YouTuber in there.
I haven't been talking about what I haven't found, but I'll probably find it.
Mm.
If I haven't already, I may have found it and just forgotten about it. Anyway, I'm Sarge, and I'll see you
I'm
on the
Rivet.
next. Go ahead. Oh, and I'll see you on the next Sarge's Recap.